pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball. Grant Lynch does it again and stays perfect for the 2008 season. 48 for 48 in save opportunities. And let the city celebrate.
Aloha and hello. And welcome to this edition of Philly Fanatics. Brought to you by Too Close to Call. I am Miho with my co-host Pags. And we are talking first place Philadelphia Phillies.
First place, Ruaha.
Nice. I like that. Shark
bait, Ruaha.
Oh, let's use that. I'm just going to tweet out from now on, dude, every time they win, or Instagram video out a selfie of me going, first place, ooh-ah-ha.
That's it, man. Hopefully we're doing that every day till October.
That's going to be our catchphrase. That's going to blow up by the time the postseason's around.
No doubt.
And then it's going to be world champs, ooh-ah-ha.
There it is. There it is.
Let's go. Oh, shit. But, dude, first place Phillies, spot on. 2 out of 3 from the Brew Crew. Initial reactions.
They're doing exactly what we said earlier in the year. Keep winning series. Keep playing these top teams in the NL tough. Teams you're going to see down the road as the wild card if we aren't in first place. I'll take it, especially after getting romped by them at home less than a week ago. Going 1-3 against them, now getting a series win out in Milwaukee. Big fan of that.
Yeah, my gut was telling me hopefully they can win one of these games because it didn't go well the last time. And starting off with Friday's game, what I was most impressed by, and it's something that we've talked about in previous pods, is these were the Phillies' runs. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, 1 in the seventh. 6 runs, 11 hits, which they were getting away from that big inning, Pags, because you can't just mail in at bats for innings and, oh, he's cruising. It's fine, though. We're going to have that big inning where we get a couple of hits and somebody pops one. This one, they were grinding away against Anderson, the Brewers pitchers. He was only able to go 4 innings, 3 runs, and just continued to frustrate the bullpen. And I thought this was the first game in a long time where they had excellent approaches and really came to play, man. I don't know if it was one of those where Gabe may have gotten it into him a little before this series, saying exactly what you just said. Hey, these guys kicked your ass a week ago, so if you want to show up and show what type of a ball club you are, you know, now's the time to do it. And if he did, they responded, and that's what you like to see. Rhys Hoskins, McCutchen, a couple of hits. Kingery played center field, had a couple of hits. He keeps staying hot, and I don't know, man. I was just impressed with the offense in Friday's game.
Bury the lead. Our boy comes into the bullpen and gets the W for the Phils. Vinny Velo comes in and he shoves. He gives up a couple hits right off the bat, but then he just starts blowing by guys. And 2-inning outing for him there, getting 4 Ks. If we can get that from Vinny in the bullpen, I'm all for that.
Vince Velasquez coming off the injured list for this appearance after the Phillies sent down Cole Irvin because they don't need a starter until Tuesday. That's why Vince was available in the bullpen throughout this series, because at this point there was still the lingering, we don't know who's going to start. Is Vince fully committed to the bullpen? Is he not? And if this was his first audition, it was a very positive one.
He's got the stuff to be in the pen. I mean, he throws harder than hell, and his biggest issue of being a starter is pitch count gets freaking so high because he's just trying to throw fucking fastballs by all these people, and that kind of is a good recipe for the pen.
It's an interesting one, though, because I don't know if you followed the story, but it was literally over the course of a couple of hours. They interviewed Vince. I forget if it was after his appearances, but it was at like 10 in the morning. And they interviewed him on his thoughts about going to the bullpen. And Vince was not happy because he had thought he earned the right to be a starter or wanted to be a starter. And people wrote some, blogs and little reports. Well, it came later about 2 in the afternoon. And apparently over lunch, him and Gabe Kapler had talked. And I guess now understand his role because Vince called an impromptu press conference to clarify his remarks from earlier. and was basically now saying, I'm okay with going to the bullpen. I now know what my role is. I'm fine. I was just overreacting. That type of shenanigans. And literally the headline was, Vince is pissed about going to the bullpen. ... Not anymore. Question mark. Like, it was confusing where Vince was talking to reporters but hadn't talked to Gabe yet. Like, what's going on there? It was just another kind of interesting tidbit that you don't really dive into unless you're doing a podcast about him every 3 days. But when you're doing that and you're looking at every kind of minute detail and saying, is this good? Is this bad? That was just a wrinkle where I was like, yo, Gabe, like, come on, man. Call the motherfucker the night before. Like, give him something.
You got to give the guy a heads up. I completely agree. It's interesting, the mindset of these players. I like the fact that he called to clarify what he said because, yeah, you have that initial reaction where you probably shouldn't talk to anybody when you're feeling the way you're feeling. It's like when you're having a fight with your spouse, you're like, all right, maybe I shouldn't say what I'm feeling right now. Give me 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and talk.
Yeah, so where's the veteran presence there to be like, yo, Vince, shut the fuck up, dude? Maybe
right.
Not in those words, but...
Well, no, I think those are perfect words for that.
Yeah, so I don't know, but we will come full circle on Vince Velasquez later in the pod because he's going to make another appearance here, if not 2 more, Vinny Velo. But Saturday's game, Jake Arrieta, 8 innings, man. He was the lead. 2 runs, 100 pitches. He was sharp. He took advantage of an expanded strike zone. If you were watching the umpire, although it gets back to the argument, Pags, of consistency / consistently shitty, he was giving it to him 2 inches off the whole day. So make an adjustment, hitter. But at the same time, you're going, bro, if you're consistently bad, that doesn't make it any better. That just means you totally suck and not just once in a while. Counsell got tossed. Somebody else for the Brewers, I can't remember, got tossed. And it was a 4-2 game heading into the 9th. And Hoskins and Real Muto with back-to-back jacks give the Phils a little bit of breathing room and ultimately take the first 2 in Milwaukee.
Yeah, the Philly killer, Ryan Braun, got tossed in the 5th. He was pissed after 1, and then he struck out the next. And then you can see Counsell word them, did you toss him? And the umpire goes, yeah, I did. Braun's just walking back to the dugout, like getting out of there. But, hey, this was a good win by the Phils. 7-2. It never really relinquished anything there because Arrieta had the control of the entire game. And we were getting guys on base left and right. Rhys Hoskins going 3 for 4. And Cesar hitting a bomb, hitting a single with a ribby. If this lineup continues to do what it's doing, man, we're going to be a tough team to beat.
It's all going to hinge on those 7, 8, 9 spots because coming into this year, we were having the conversations of, okay, Odubel's in the 6th spot. He's a good hitter, and that leaves Hernandez and Franco in the 7, 8 roles. Well, they both kind of flip-flopped, right? Franco started hot, Hernandez was struggling, and now it's the other way around where Franco's hitting all the way down to like 230, and he doesn't walk, so he's not giving you a whole heck of a lot. And then that's where Scott Kingery's coming into play because he's now pushing all of these people. Odubel Herrera Saturday had a couple of hits for the first time in maybe 6 months. His average is up to 228 for the last 12 months, man. The last full season I heard on another podcast, he's literally hitting like 230. So it's been a full 500 at-bats since we've had vintage Herrera, and it's getting to the point here where Kingery may have to push him a little bit, but to your point, if Cesar's up to that 6th spot, now you're trying to figure out 7, 8, and if you're getting Kingery, who's still hitting 357, I know his at-bats aren't up there yet due to the injury, but if he can give you anything and you only have one black hole and it's Maikel Franco who will get a hot streak from time to time, oh man, dude, that's where Jake Arrieta post-game, Phils are one of the best teams in baseball. I think we may have to agree with him.
Dubes was 1 for 24 in his last 24 at-bats.
Oh my God.
And then he goes 2 for 3 with a walk on Saturday, and it's like, can you keep that going where you're like 8 for 24, not 1 for 24, Dupes? let's just
give me 4 for 24, man.
Yeah,
Jesus.
And a couple walks in here and there, and just keep it going, man. Hustle and don't make those stupid plays out in the outfield.
Stupid plays, but you know what I'm thinking to myself here, Pags, as I'm scrolling to Sunday's game. For better or worse, I'm thinking Arrieta may need to keep his mouth shut because He says we're one of the best teams in baseball, and they bounce back with a 9-1 loss the next day and only get one hit all day. So clearly backed up his words there on getaway day before Memorial Day.
Woodruff was one nap home run away from a perfect game.
I didn't even see the home run. I clicked away. I did click back and see they scored a run now. So I was like, oh, thank God he's not no-hitter anymore or anything like that. But did not realize it was to the point where no walks, one hit, one run. Holy moly. We just ranted 4 minutes, Pags, about how good this offense is. So how the hell did that happen?
Man, you win 2 against the Brewers. You kind of start feeling yourselves, and you're like, oh, we get off on Memorial Day. Boom. That's how it happens.
That's how it happened. 2 out of 3, you can't complain, although you do want more out of Zach Eflin, and this will transition into the post-series storylines. Look at that there, Pags, doing it well, but Vince Velasquez, appearance number 2, 2/3 of an inning, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 bombs. Holy moly, was he bad.
Man, that is bad.
Yeah, your thoughts still, now that we've seen good bullpen Vince and bad bullpen Vince, which one do you think we will get more of moving forward, as well as your thoughts, because you correctly predicted, I'll give you that. Here you go, Pags. Round of applause for our guest here, is Nick Pivetta will be starting on Tuesday and entering the rotation again. So Vince is firmly in the bullpen until unforeseen circumstances.
I think it's going to take a little time for him to get used to the whole regimen of, hey, there's a potential you're going to be throwing 3-4 times a week. So he needs to get in that little groove there. I think once he does and settles in, he's like, okay, this is what I need to do. We're going to see more of the Friday night Vince than the Sunday Vince. That's my guess.
Quick question. 9th inning against the Cubs, save situation. Would you rather see Juan Nicasio or Vince Velasquez?
Vince Velasquez.
You think so? You think he enters into high prominent roles and is not more of a mop-up guy now that he's there?
Yes, I hate Nicasio.
Moving on from him already. Stand him. Oh, my gosh. But the last storyline to wrap it up here, obviously we have to talk about it. Bryce Harper, 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts, continues to strike out at an alarming rate, swing through the fastball. We talked about how he made some mechanical adjustments, got a few more hits these past couple of days, so there is a little bit of positive progress, walking all the time, playing good right field. But Bryce, where are you at now that it's Memorial Day and we're almost at the quarter pole of the season?
I have a hard time hating on him. I know the strikeouts are bad and everything like that, but you just look at what the rest of the lineup's doing around him, and it's just like, you got to give some of the credit to him because of his threat of being able to go yard at any time. Other guys are seeing better pitches because of him in the lineup, so I can't really hate on him. Do I want him to strike out less? Yes. Do I want him to have more opportune hits like on Saturday where your base is loaded? I don't need to see him strike out there. I need to see him put the ball in play at least. So I would say it's a little worrisome, but I think the extra things that you don't hear about are positives for Bryce Harper.
How about I saw the stat with RIP to Bill Buckner, who passed away over the weekend, but
RIP.
MLB put up that Bill Buckner struck out in 4.5 or 5% of his at-bats throughout his entire major league career. And Bryce is striking out in 32% of his at-bats this season alone. It's just, he was third all-time. Tony Gwynn was second at like 4.2. And I can't remember the guy in first, but he was at like 3.9. And it's just, that's a whole career. And Bryce is striking out once every 3 times up there. It's definitely concerning. But
yeah, it's got to be.
To your point, man, the guy's hustling. He's playing a good right field, because we'll close with, if you listeners out there haven't seen the highlight of Manny Machado hitting a ground ball to second base with the guy bobbling it 2, maybe 3 times and still throwing out Machado by 10 feet. Oh, my goodness, would we have run him out of town on Memorial Day?
Yeah, I think Ving made a very good decision in not coming here, because he would be getting berated, and it would be terrible. I mean, you see Bryce getting booed. Bryce handles it very well. I don't know if Manny would have been able to handle it.
goodness, definitely not. And at least it would have sucked for the clubhouse. But
no doubt.
The Phillies return home. They get the St. Louis Cardinals before they head out west for a 6-game road trip with 3 in L.A. with the NL leading Dodgers and then 3 with Manny Machado's own San Diego Padres. And I know we'll touch on it after the series, Pags, but what are your thoughts here in these next 9 games moving forward?
I like to stay firm with keep winning series 2-1. If you look back at the last 4 series, which was a brutal stretch of no breaks, anything like that, they went 8-6 with the Brewers twice, the Rockies, and the Cubs. Something along those lines where maybe you drop 2 to one of these teams but win 2 of the series, get a little sweep in there, maybe against the Padres, something like that. So if we could go, I'm not going to say 6-3, 5-4, something like that, I'll take that.
6-3 is the goal. 5-4 is acceptable, and that's how you play baseball, man. Just keep winning more than you're losing, and over the course of 162, you go, holy shit, we're 90-50? That's pretty good.
We'll take it.
But this is the Philly Fanatics podcast, brought to you by Too Close to Call. I'm Miho with Pags, talking Phils, giving you guys the takes on everything you need to know, and apparently everybody calm down because Vinny Velo is going to dominate in the pen. Call it on JMPAG 68.
I was right about him going to the pen, and I'm right about him right in the shit.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Let us know what your thoughts are, and we will talk to you guys in a couple of days after they get done with the Cardinals.
Later, guys.
Peace.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball. Brad Lynch does it again and stays perfect for the 2008 season. 48 for 48 in save opportunities, and let the city celebrate.